Hello, are you looking to take your watercolour paintings to the next level? Do you wish your art could be bold, exciting and vibrant? Are you disappointed with your efforts so far and struggling and wondering how and where to start? Shirley Trevena is a renowned watercolour artist and known for her exciting and unconventional approach to painting. Taking risks with watercolour is Shirley's guide to pushing the boundaries and exploring the full potential of this versatile medium. The tips and techniques contained in Shirley's colourful book will make your wish a reality, and with practice you will become the artist you dream of being. So let's discover Shirley's secrets together as we explore taking risks with watercolour. Although watercolour is a difficult medium to handle, Shirley maintains that you will get the best results if you just let yourself enjoy watercolour's fascinating versatility. We have an introduction where Shirley tells us how she became a professional artist and what her main influences were. Stage 1, a blank sheet of paper. We all know how daunting that can be. Stage 2, getting started. Developing your painting. How do you know when your painting's finished? And finally, moving on and finding new challenges to enjoy. In the introduction, Shirley shares with us that she's entirely self-taught, so there's hope for us all. After watching a film about David Hockney and his process, Shirley states, "David Hockney gave me permission to paint however and whatever I wanted. This was a turning point in my approach to painting." I think Shirley's art is just joyful. In this first chapter, where Shirley talks about that dreaded blank sheet of paper, she says that all artists find themselves in the doldrums sometimes and wonder what on earth they can be painting next. While Shirley is most well known for her beautiful flower paintings, Shirley also paints a variety of subjects, such as figures, still life. Just look at the glorious colours in Shirley's painting called The Sewing Box. Interiors, and Shirley says she can sympathise with anyone who finds this subject a bit challenging. And landscapes, which Shirley admits that she finds a bit daunting. Who'd have thought it? In this section, Shirley provides some tips about how we can find inspiration, and says nobody can turn on inspiration like a tap, and wishes she could, that there are days when she can hardly persuade herself to go into her own studio, let alone start working. That's really refreshing and encouraging to hear. I just love this painting of Shirley's, dark red amaryllis and Easter lilies. In the section on composition, Shirley has presented us with two images, one only 10 centimetres and the other is almost 1.5 meters wide, and goes on to say that she believes composition is subjective. Here Shirley gives us an example of symmetrical composition in her painting Red Fruit and Flowers, and over the page we have an example of asymmetrical composition in her painting of Angela's Daffodils. I just love how Shirley's paintings are semi-abstract, which throws the rules of perspective right out the window. Shirley talks about composing a still life setup and what questions we need to ask. And Shirley provides us with a detailed example of one of her still life arrangements. In the second chapter, Getting Started, Shirley discusses her basic kit, her watercolour paints, inks, brushes, and the dreaded start white paper. Here, Shirley has given us an exercise in experimental mark making and tells us this works for her every time. The next 4 pages in Shirley's book are the most insightful when it comes to Shirley revealing her secret techniques. The method Shirley uses to start her paintings, in my opinion, is brave. The way Shirley makes colour choices is unusual and unique. I urge you to buy a copy of Shirley's book if you would like to learn what her secrets are. In stage 3, developing a painting, Shirley provides plenty of colourful examples and talks about the decisions she made regarding her colour choices. She prefers daring combinations and states, traditional watercolourists favour rather muted colours, which in skilled hands make for beautiful subtle images, but for Shirley, colour makes the heart beat faster. On page 65, Shirley gives us some beautiful examples of merging watercolours and glazing. Colour can suggest mood and create atmosphere, and colour can be used to make a painting seem hot or cold. There are no real step-by-step demos in this book, which is why it may not be suitable, or probably isn't suitable, for an absolute beginner wanting to start watercolour. The one section that comes close to this is pink pears, red flowers. And whilst this isn't what I call a copyist demonstration, there is plenty to learn from Shirley's techniques and tips. Within the demonstration, Shirley has included a few pages regarding tone and tells us as artists we can't afford to ignore tone. It's unusual how pages discussing tone have been included in the middle of the actual demo, but I think the point is so important. This is why Shirley has done this, included the pages in the middle of her demonstration, because she wants to get the point across. We return to Shirley's demo, where she tells us painting is not a straightforward, linear process. And if a picture needs something, feel free to invent it. We're not creating botanical studies. We are making paintings. We are creating art. Here, Shirley suggests different ways we can make line, and also talks about mixed media using oil pastel and water-soluble pencils. I absolutely love this image here. Still life with red and green fruit. The colours are just gorgeous. Shirley states, in my paintings, straight edges and alignments create order out of chaos. And if you look closely at Shirley's work, you can see where the lines almost make the paintings look fragmented, as if you're looking at them in a broken mirror. In these next 4 pages, Shirley demonstrates painting the pears, which is part of her demo. We have a very helpful section on creating bold textures. In this, she looks at how to deal with blooms and backgrounds, lifting out paint. She shows us how to do that, how to smudge paint to get interesting effects, using, of all things, can you believe, a nail brush, splattering and speckling, stippling, using wax resist, and texture medium. A very helpful chapter. We return once again to the demo, and Shirley tells us how she set about creating the background for the painting. Just look at the vibrant colours in the penultimate stage. This is a very helpful section on creating pattern. If you look at Shirley's work, she includes a lot of patterns in her art. Shirley tells us that some people shy away from painting patterns because they assume it must be difficult, but it's a valuable opportunity. And in her still life, she deliberately includes props decorated with patterns and use various techniques to render those patterns. In the final chapter, Shirley provides helpful advice to help you decide if your painting is finished or not. Her larger paintings can take from 2 to 3 weeks to complete, and Shirley likes to spend at least the last week looking critically at the picture before she makes final strokes. And here we have the final painting. I just love it. Shirley says, I know a picture is finished when it looks like someone else has painted it. Of course, it's not really finished until I add my signature, and that is the last time I touch it. Wow. In the final few pages, Shirley tells us that after many years as a professional painter, she still feels like a complete beginner every time she starts a new piece of work. I find Shirley's honesty refreshing. If I had half your skill, Shirley, I'd be one very happy painter. Please purchase a copy of this book for yourself. It is absolutely beautiful. If you do nothing more than just have it as a coffee table book, the colours are so vibrant, it's so inspirational. In the description below, I've put a link to Shirley Trevena's website, a link to a video on YouTube of Shirley discussing how she started painting. There are 2 links to previews of DVDs that Shirley Trevena has made. I highly recommend you purchase them. Her technique is just wonderful. And also Daniel Smith. Shirley has her own set of watercolour paints, Daniel Smith watercolour paints. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like. My channel is very new and I think if you like the video, YouTube will recommend it for other people to see and enjoy, hopefully. Thank you for watching.